everyone, welcome to YourPedia, and as you all know that we are going with the series of text completion exercise, and every week I try to incorporate one of the exercise from Manhattan and try to bring it in front of you, relating it with certain tricks. Like in the last video we have discussed about the rule that was rather than, where it was that you have to incorporate the opposite word just after the rather than, whatever it is used. Rather than bad, so that means the blank before rather than will be filled with good. Although while they all bring contrast in a statement. We have discussed many such tricks in our lectures. Similar way, one more context of text completion exercise to solve such exercise is based on the context of the statement, and second is the vocabulary, which we do practice in our high frequency words videos too. So here I am going to incorporate the question number 93rd. What does 93rd question carry? So it's a very interesting word and you will be familiar with lots of meanings after this video will be done, right? So do watch it till end and learn new words of vocabulary. So it is your 93rd, and here I'm talking about whenever you have a punctuation marks, you need to pause over there. So in their popular book, Sex at Dawn. Now there is some book that names is Sex at Dawn. Authors, Christopher Ryan and Kakila Jeta. So you just name it out, there are two authors over there. Dash those who see paradigms for monogamy in nature. Now there is a book that's named as Sex at Dawn, and there are two authors of this book. Now these authors generally see, what they say is paradigms means something that is a model. What is monogamy? Monogamy is when you have a one partner, like monogamy, single person for the marriage. When you marry one person, you are committed to one partner, that is monogamy. And this is actually a practice which we see in the nature also. So monogamy mein kya hota hai? And till now what I have meant is, there is a book that's name was Sex at Dawn. तो दो authors थे जो actual में क्या देखते हैं कि in nature monogamy is being practiced. लेकिन अब आगे क्या है? Describing numerous animals and primitive peoples who have polyamorous relationships. So what is polyamorous relationship? When you have a relationship with multiple partners, and that is a mutual one, that all the partners agree with it, each other and one another, and that is a kind of when you have a relationship with multiple partners, right? So monogamy is when you have a relationship, when you marry one partner. Polyamorous is when you have a relationship with multiple partners. So what does this statement means? इस statement का मतलब है कि there are two authors who have written a book, and what they try to incorporate in that book is, वो देखते चाहें मोनोगैमी है नेचर में, लेकिन अपनी बुक में उन्होंने पॉलीएमरस रिलेशनशिप्स की बात करी है. सो दैट इज अ स्टेटमेंट, राइट? अब इसमें क्या आएगा? उन्होंने इस बुक में डैश दोज हु सी पैराडाइम्स फॉर मोनोगैमी इन नेचर. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय डैश दोज? तो इसमें क्या आएगा? क्या वो जो मोनोगैमी की तरफ मोनोगैमी एग्जिस्ट करती है नेचर में, लेकिन वो किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं? दैट इज पॉलीएमरस. दैट मीन्स वो इस चीज के खिलाफ बात कर रहे हैं. सो इट विल बी लाइक दे टॉक अगेंस्ट those who see paradigms for monogamy nature. तो obvious सी बात है, अगर किसी बुक में they are promoting the idea of multiple relationships, तो वो single relationship वाले आइडिया को प्रमोट नहीं करेंगे, उसके खिलाफ खड़े होंगे. So that was the word that you require. And you know, when you have such words, these are the phrasal verbs. You don't need to get confused with it. When you have phrasal verbs in it, that means कि आपके साथ क्या है, एक verb mentioned है, साथ में आपके कोई preposition कुछ लगा है. So these are the phrasal verbs, right? They try to give you one meaning. अब conspire with का मतलब क्या होता है? साजिश करना. That we call it out, right? Conspire में मतलब क्या होगा? When you try to make plans secretly. सीक्रेट से साजिश करते हो, कुछ प्लान्स बनाते हो. सोचो इसमें कि क्या बात करना, क्या हम साजिश कर रहे हैं मोनोगैमी के अगेंस्ट? इज इट पॉसिबल? मे और मे नॉट बी. नेक्स्ट इज ब्लॉक आउट. ब्लॉक करना क्या होता है? एवरीवन नोज दिस मीनिंग. किसी चीज का प्रॉपर स्टॉप कर देना, खत्म कर देना, बंद कर देना. सो व्हेन यू स्टॉप समथिंग कंप्लीटली, दैट इज ब्लॉक आउट, राइट? तो हम स्टॉप कर सकते हैं. रेल अगेंस्ट. रेल अगेंस्ट का मतलब क्या होता है? When you try to incorporate, किसी चीज के अगेंस्ट आप प्रोटेस्ट करते हो, किसी आइडिया के अगेंस्ट यू स्पीक अगेंस्ट, दैट इज टर्म्ड एज रेल अगेंस्ट. देन यू स्किटर अराउंड. स्किटर अराउंड होता है एक जगह से दूसरी जगह क्या कर रहे हो आप? मूव कर रहे हो. सो व्हेन यू मूव, यू कैन कॉल इट एज रैपिडली फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर, दैट इज टर्म्ड एज स्किटर अराउंड. एंड लास्ट इज टू पास ओवर. पास ओवर का मतलब क्या होता है? व्हेन यू इग्नोर द क्लेम्स, मतलब किसी चीज को इग्नोर करके आगे बढ़ जाना, दैट इज पास ओवर. Now you have these 5 words. What was the statement? Let's revise it quickly. It was when there are 2 authors who wrote a book. उसमें उन्होंने monogamy के against polyamorous को support किया है. That was the idea. अब Can we conspire against monogamy? Is it possible कि हम conspire कर रहे हैं? I don't think so that is possible, क्योंकि हम किसी के against साजिश नहीं करते हैं. साजिश नहीं कर रहे हैं वो किसी चीज़ के against. Block out. क्या वो monogamy को पूरी तरह से खत्म कर सकते हैं? That's not possible. They cannot block out. So it's not there. Rail against can be an option. क्यों? क्योंकि वो इस चीज़ के against बोल रहे हैं, protest कर रहे हैं. So that is their idea to speak something in terms of जो बाकी nature accept कर रही है. Then you have skitter, move around भी नहीं हो सकता, कभी इधर कभी उधर, ये तो नहीं है, 2 आइडियाज के बीच में तो वो मूव कर नहीं रहे हैं, so that is not there. And last is your passover, वो इग्नोर भी नहीं कर रहे हैं. What you can do is you can stand against, you can talk against some idea, but you cannot move against, or you cannot block that idea, or you cannot conspire against that idea. So what is the one word that matches here is, that is rail against. Let's go for the explanation. Now, the sentence shows that you have authors of the book come up with many examples against those who see a paradigm for monogamy. जो बहुत ज़्यादा models of monogamy को देखते हैं in nature में, but actually वो के examples दे रहे हैं primitive man के, animals के, जो polyamorous relationships को support करते हैं. So both skitter around and pass over would imply the authors fail to find examples and conspire with. अगर इधर उधर भटक रहे होते, that means वो skitter कर रहे हैं इधर उधर में, तो they are confused, but ऐसा नहीं है, they have the relevant facts about it, right? So what is the opposite is, rail means complain or protect strongly, and is it correct here? किसी चीज़ के against बोल रहे हैं, protest कर रहे हैं, तो rail against is the right one. So here you have rail against का मतलब क्या आ गया? When you protest, criticize, complain angrily about someone or something. Then you have conspire, when you make covert plans to perform illegal or bad deeds. When you have, you can say आप किसी चीज़ के against साजिश कर रहे हो. And last is pass over. The new freeway will pass over the lake. That is when you overlook that thing, when you ignore that thing. I want to pass over this quite quickly. ये बीत जाए चीज़. तो जब आप किसी चीज़ को बीत जाए, वो निकल जाए, that is termed as pass over. So this was based on phrasal verbs as an option, and here we try to learn some of the vocabulary-based new meanings. So yes, phrasal verbs can be there in your options, but you need not to worry about it because they carry very generic meaning and they are not as tough. So you understand the statement, try to incorporate out in your own way, shadow words भरा करो, and sooner you get the answer. All the best, keep preparing, and I'll soon bring next video for you.